Good afternoon. We're going to start this here. I think this is going to be our starting place going forward here. Keep an eye on this farm owned by the Moores. No progress there. Today is April 30th, 2026. So we have had very little rain in the last week or so. I think we've had a total, according to my rain gauge, of 0.56 inches. A little over half an inch of rain for the entire month of April. We were supposed to get a half inch today, a third to a half. We didn't get it. They lied. So we're going to take our left here on 137, also known as Dundas Road. Guess we'll be behind this bobcat for a little while. Not a whole lot of activity going on that I can see so far. Well, that's nice. At least we have a much nicer road to go down. Looks like it just got paved. Woohoo! Okay, I'm going to stop here real quick. Let this guy go because he seems to be in a bit more of a hurry than I am. I'm going to go check and make sure we're recording. I still don't trust this one remote. Everything's good. I'm happy. You're happy. We're happy. So let's go see how things are going in Dundas, Virginia. Dundas, Virginia used to be a much larger place. I think I've said that before. They had a car dealership. They had a market. They had a... What else did they have? They had a couple of other businesses there. They had the railroad there. Once the railroad left, like all the other towns in Southside Virginia, Southern Virginia, pretty much when the railroads left, the towns die, or their population is 10% of what it was before, roughly. The closing of the railroad depots, the railroad stations and such, just kills small towns here. No more coal to haul, so they had to figure out other things. This railroad died. It was called the Virginian Railroad, and it was absorbed by, I believe it was purchased by, I want to say Norfolk Southern, and I'm almost certain it's Norfolk Southern. And since there's a parallel line about a few miles straight ahead that was already Norfolk Southern, already had a maintenance facility over there, and everything was set, they shut this down. They closed the tracks, which we just went over. They tore up the tracks and did all that good stuff. They eliminated the railroad completely. So this looks like it was wheat, or is wheat, probably winter wheat. It's been sprayed to kill it. So they'll be getting to work on that soon. This wheat's probably next. It all gets plowed back into the ground to return nutrients to the soil. Some plants add stuff to the soil, some plants remove stuff from the soil. I think it's beans and stuff add nitrogen. Beans and peanuts and stuff like that add nitrogen. I forget what corn does. Then you got cotton. That just drains everything out of the soil. There's Larry mowing his grass, or mowing his fringe, his border. So I found out what happened here at the Parish View Farm 2 weeks ago when we were last here. They hosted the senior prom for the high school in the county here. It wasn't a wedding, it was the prom. So if I remember correctly, I made the left here on Gigg, which is this right here. Okay, so over here on the right, they have, they look like they already got beans in. That guy that might almost, I don't know, they're very small. I'm pretty sure you can't see them. If it's not beans, it's corn, and if it's corn, you'll see it next week, or in 2 weeks when we come back. Another recently plowed field. I think that was plowed last time we came through 2 weeks ago. No changes though. On the left, got Perseverance Christian Church. It's a great church. I just have issues with some of the people there. So, hey, we won't talk about that anymore. There's more wheat growing. Like I said, that's a cover crop for the winter to reintroduce nutrients. It doesn't get harvested, it just gets plowed in. This is a pretty section of road. Like I said, there's a dam to the right here for irrigation. No activity here yet either. I think it's still just a little bit early for tobacco. And then we're going to make the left here onto Cedar Creek. Trying to keep my routes as consistent as possible. I don't know why. I hope y'all enjoy this. I do. guess I should talk happier. They say you should talk with a smile when you're recording because that makes you sound happier. I'm trying to smile, but I'm driving too. Little wild bachelor buttons on the left here, all purple and stuff. Okay. No changes over here. Still no changes. Take this opportunity to have a drink since there's nothing going on here. So for the most part in Lunenburg County, we don't grow food here. The majority of the stuff going in here now. I'm trying to figure out what that is right there, what they did. I have no idea. But they got one big swath there. Maybe they said, yeah, we'll wait. Or their tractor broke or something. So, like I was saying, we don't grow food here. And here we are, Sleigh Ride Hill. I guess if you look down there, it's probably a good place for a sleigh ride. So there's some small farms, like the hydroponic farm on the other route, that grow food, but I'd have to say over 90% of crops grown in this county are either tobacco or your food. The corn is what's called dent corn. When it's dried and everything, if you look at the kernels, they all have a big dent in the top. That's why it's called dent. And we grow soybeans here. So tobacco, soybeans, and corn. The soybeans and the corn are feed for cattle, chickens, pigs, whatever. It all goes into off to Purina somewhere, and they process it into food. There used to be a much larger chicken producing component of regional agriculture here, but all the companies shut down the processing plants, so it's not cost effective to raise chickens out here because the transportation costs are really high. No turkey this week. So this is still Cedar Creek Road. This is still maintained by Virginia Department of Transportation. They lay gravel on it. They hit it with a grader every now and then to get rid of the bumps. It's in good shape right now. Gets kind of messy in the wintertime. But when you're in an area, maybe 3 or 4 cars go down this road a day, maybe 20 or so a week, it's not cost effective to throw asphalt down. More winter wheat. So we're going to be making a left here onto Jonesboro Road. As you can see, stop box. That tree behind that house on the right is absolutely gorgeous. It's huge. Knew the people that used to live there, but they moved. Don't know the new people. This is hay and pasture, and it's all drying up. Ugh. Okay, watch out, kitty cat. Go the other way. Good kitty cat. So then I also remembered that, I also mentioned in the past that trees are a crop here. Look on the left, everything's nice straight lines. I know this guy cleans them out. Invest. They grow bigger, they grow better. They're not cramped. So he probably gets a bit higher of a price for his timber. And now we're going to turn left onto Sugar Hill, AKA. It's had a history in the past 10 years or so. I mean, Lunenburg County is a pretty safe place, but things happen, and a few years back, I'll show you where it happened. It all had to do with somebody cheating on somebody and getting caught and getting beat with a shovel, a trenching shovel, one of those little army shovels. Yeah. I know people who witnessed it. They said this guy just went off on this guy and kept hitting him with a shovel until he stopped moving, and then he just kind of walked away. They called the sheriff. They were over 100 yards away when this happened, so they couldn't get there in time. But this guy started walking. They started following him and updating the sheriff as where to find this guy. And once they found him, he pretty much surrendered peacefully. And I believe he's in jail right now for a while. There was another one on the road down behind us. Knuckleheads being stupid, playing with guns. They had gone to the range, shooting range that day, and one guy had a bad day at the range, and they're all consuming alcohol, which, if you don't know it, is illegal when you're carrying a firearm. And he had his rifle strapped to his back, and the guys kept making fun of him because he had, just like I said, he had a lousy day at the range. And there's some, looks like corn, maybe tobacco on the right. And we got some guys, yeah, that's tobacco on the right. I don't know what that is on the left. That might be tobacco as well. This is the way they're planting it. Yeah, that's tobacco too. So if you notice there was the big square pads, and there's little tobacco plants in those. And they pull them out individually, and they sit on the back of the machine. It makes a hole. You drop the plant in, it shoots a little water in there, does all that kind of stuff. So this trailer on the left right here is where the badness happened that I was discussing earlier. I'll probably have to eliminate all that because our friends at YouTube, they don't like you saying words like that. I'll leave the story in. And the painter guys are here painting the church. If you're in the area and you want a really good paint job done, these are the guys to call. It won't be fast, but it will be the best paint job you can get. So we're gonna double back on this road. I'll probably cut this second part out. You don't need to see this, right? And then, like I said, I would really appreciate some feedback, any feedback, positive, negative. Tell me to shut up, tell me to play music, tell me what to do. I don't have a problem with that. For the most part, if I agree with it, which I probably will, I'll make the adjustments. So the one thing about growing tobacco is it is irrigated, or it can be irrigated if needed. And that's why they have the skip rows. And I'll focus on one of those and show you all what those look like. And maybe we'll swing by there on the way out. I see anything over here? Maybe at, I think it's Willowwood Farms. They grow and sell produce and such. Strawberries. I wonder if the strawberries are in yet. If the strawberries are in, I might be stopping here. I think I got some cash. So nothing here yet. Like I said, those trees on the left are probably about 7 or 8 years old. So past this trailer on the right is Willowwood Farms. I think that's what it is. It's Willow something or other. And they grow you pick stuff kind of thing. And way out there, there's people picking strawberries out there. So their strawberries are ready. I gotta tell my wife. Because those are really good strawberries. Almost as good as the ones I've had as a kid. So we're coming up here to beautiful downtown Dundas. Like I said, Market was on the left across the street. Big white building down there is the Dundas Ruritan Club. If you like sheep stew, that's the place to go for it. They do it 2 or 3 times a year. And they usually sell out. It's expensive, but the people who love sheep stew love that. I am not a fan. And here is Dundas Baptist Church. And you know what? We're going to go back to where they're planting that tobacco. So just a little deviation here. And I'll talk to it more as we go by there. So we're going to make a left here onto Sugar Hill. And we're going to go back and see what they got there. Also, I've increased the frame rate on the recording. I published this at 24 frames per second, but I was shooting it at 24 frames per second, but I wasn't getting the quality I like. This is going to be tobacco over here on the left too. I can see the skip rows. The skip rows are where the basically where the irrigation and the sprayers go. So they don't harm the plants. Back by Perseverance again. So you notice the big aircraft hangar over here on the right, and if you notice the empty strip here on the left, where the cover crop's way back there, this used to be a little airstrip, and that's where they kept their plane. They got rid of the plane, so they don't take care of the airstrip anymore, and I think it's delisted. So you can see the big cover row right there. Skip row. I'm sorry. And then the tobacco goes in between them. So there's a truck with the water on it. And you can see the plants there, where the plants have gone in already. And all those little white things that look like tiles or bricks on the left is fully planted. And all these stack of things, those are all trays with that had the tobacco plants in them. And you can see the plants. These are going to grow and grow, and you're going to see how big they get. The tobacco plants grow to about 4 feet high. Huge leaves, huge plants, beautiful plants. That's some funky looking weed over there. It's all balled up. So all these mounds of dirt and gravel here, this is Sugar Hill Hauling. I believe that's the name. I know the guy that runs it. And gravel, sand, dirt. You need it, Billy will help you out. I guess you got to be in Lunenburg or near Lunenburg for him to get to you, but that's about it. So we are duplicating effort here. I'm going to go most of the way home on this. I'll record most of it too. Yeah, you're not done with me yet. And like I said, I'm going to do these weekly. I'll alternate paths all through the farm season, pretty much till October-ish. So about 6 months. Back over to Jonesboro. It's clear. I'm gonna drive.